am so grateful that I got this tripod for Christmas. Hey guys, it's Alexandra. Welcome to my theater diary, and this is me rating my past shows. So if you guys don't know, I've done theater for now 7 years, and it's been one heck of a ride. These are all the programs of shows I've done, and I will rate them probably out of 10. So let's get on with the video. First we have... Wait, where is it? It was right there! Oh, here it is! The Princess Bride. So Princess Bride was the first play I have ever done. It was actually a high school play. I was around, I was like 17 going to 18, so I was like grade 12 when we did that. I played the Queen, who is the mother of Prince Humperdinck. Actually, the fun fact is, the Queen wasn't really my role in the first place. I was originally cast as one of the townspeople, but then something got different from our cast members, like some of them dropped out, and there were other people that had to take over the roles. So our Buttercup, who is one of my old high school friends, she had to drop out for some reason. I think something was going on in her life by then, so yeah, so she had to drop out. So my other high school friend, who was originally cast as the Queen, she had to take over Buttercup, and I remember asking my my acting/dance teacher and the director of Princess Bride, I was saying,
if she's gonna be Buttercup, then who's going to be the Queen?
And then she was like, you. And then I went,
what?
So yeah, that's what happened. And honestly, I was actually really excited. Even though I had like one line for the entire show, I didn't really care. And actually, my high school friend who just got cast as Buttercup gave me some advice to know how to play the Queen. So that was very helpful, so yeah. So I would probably give this show 8 out of 10. Next, we have Miracle on 34th Street. So Miracle was my first show with Theater of the Country. I was like 19 years old, and so it was a year after I graduated high school, and it was actually my first musical. I played a girl guide / ensemble. It was also my first time wearing character shoes for the show, because when I was in Princess Bride, I had to wear flats. Yeah, I remember dance rehearsals, I had to wear my character shoes, and I honestly thought I was gonna trip. But I didn't, which is surprising. It was a really fun experience. I had a really great time doing that show. Oh, by the way, it was the time when Theater of the Country was at their old location. It was in Maple Ridge. So yeah, the stage was pretty small. There was no like actual backstage, so we had to go like outside to go to stage left to stage right. And there were sometimes it was cold and raining and snowing. There was actually some time I almost slipped. I remember one show, it was like snowing outside, and we had to go out to get to stage left, and it was snowing out, and I was wearing like white gloves because I was playing the princess in the parade scene, and I honestly thought I was gonna slip, but nope, because I grabbed onto the railing, and yeah. So I would probably give Miracle on 34th Street 9 out of 10. Next we have... Okay, I get your point. Oh, my first favorite show, Fiddler on the Roof. So Fiddler was my second show with TIC. I played the role of Rivka, who was one of the villagers in Nonotevka. And it was actually my first big role because it was my first time to have a role that had a name. And it was also my first time wearing a mic because in the rumor scene, I had like one solo line in that song, and I was actually really shocked when the director asked me to say those lines. I was like,
really? Oh, okay.
So yeah, it was pretty interesting. There was actually sometimes I got to stand in as Hava, because our Hava, there's one time Hava didn't show up, so my director asked me to stand in for her, and I got to stand in for her again because it was their 5th season with TIC, so we had to do two venues. We had one in Maple Ridge and the other one in Langley. And so our rehearsal in Langley, our Hava had to leave early because she was also rehearsing a play for another theater company. So the director asked me to stand in for her. And I was doing a scene when Hava met Fiedka. And let's just say, I remember her lines. It just popped into my head and then I remember the lines, and I think my director and Reg, who played Tevye by the time, said that they were very impressed that I knew her lines. And plus, I actually auditioned for Hava. And to be honest, when I got to stand in for Hava twice, it was actually pretty fun. But I had a really great time doing that show, and my favorite scene of that show was definitely Tevye's dream, because it was my first time playing a ghost, and the Frumacera entrance was pretty cool. Let's just say my director's professional video editor. And I even got to celebrate my 20th birthday with TIC, and it was our closing day of Fiddler, so that was really sweet. They sang happy birthday to me. A lot of people keep coming around and telling me happy birthday, which is really, really nice. So I still got a birthday card. It was from Colette, who played my mom in Fiddler. And she got to have some of the cast and crew to sign it for me, which was awesome. And there's a big check mark right there. And also there's one like there from Anna, who played Yenta in the show. So I would give Fiddler on the Roof 10 out of 10, because that was my favorite show. Next, we have A Christmas Carol. So our Christmas Carol was adapted by John Mortimer. So the ensembles tells everyone the story, and Scrooge is like literally the only principal. And to be honest, it took me like a week to memorize my lines. It was also my first time playing an understudy. I understudied Martha Cratchit, and I played her like 3 times? Yeah, twice in Langley and once in Maple Ridge. And it was also my first time playing a stunt person. And no, I didn't get hurt. So my job as Charmwoman's stunt double, I had to go upstairs, I had to wear like a lace shawl, and I had to cover my hair with a white bonnet. I had to put like a dummy on Scrooge's bed and covered it with a blanket, and I had to go around and to hide my face because they're not supposed to see my face. So, but the bed frame was so tall, I had to climb up the bed. It was not really a bed, it was a bench, because our balcony was too tight to get like an actual bed up there. Yeah, I had to climb on the bench and get the bed curtain down. And actually, during the graveyard scene, a crew member had to like get the bed curtain back up. Playing Christmas Carol was pretty fun. I mean, I want to do this show. I always wanted to do Christmas Carol, probably ever since I saw the Mickey Mouse version of it when I was like 7 or 8. And so, yeah, I pretty much know the story about it, and it was pretty fun. And I guess I will give Christmas Carol 9 out of 10. I keep losing my shoe when I played Friday. God, it was so annoying. Next, we have The Hunchback of Notre Dame. You were the hardest show I've ever done in my life. So, there was a time when TIC moved to Langley, and it's a pretty big building. Hunchback was their 3rd show in that building, so yeah. I played the choir / ensemble. And honestly, that was the hardest and longest show I've ever done in my life. So let's just say, it took us like 3 or 4 months, or 4 or 5 months to rehearse, which is nuts. And, to be honest, I almost dropped out of the show. I'm glad I stayed, because if I did, I would have never met Kylie and Mariah. Yeah, the music was pretty cool. It was a really hard show I've ever done, but it was worth it, because I got to meet some new people, be reunited with people I've worked with before, so it was pretty interesting. So yeah, I probably would give Hunchback like 7 out of 10. Next, we have Two from Galilee. Two from Galilee is about a Christmas story about Mary and Joseph, And of course, there was a story about the birth of Jesus. It was my first show that was based on the Bible, and I actually grew up hearing about the story about the birth of Jesus. I played Leah, who's a shy and giggly girl, and who was opposed to marry Joseph, but Joseph prefers Mary. And actually, there was another church. It was called Christian Life Assembly. It was another big church, and they want From Galilee to be performed there. So that's what they did that's what we did for 3 shows. It was definitely one of my favorite shows because I got to play a character that was pretty much like me, and I had a great time playing Leah. So obviously, I'll give From Galilee 10 out of 10. Next, we have, what the heck? Oh, Little Women. Oh, it's not like it was running away from Braxton. Oh, okay. No sign of Braxton. So, I played Clarissa, who was the fictional character from Joseph's story. And honestly, that was like the biggest role I've ever gotten, ever. I was originally cast as the ensemble, but then 3 days after the read-through, Reg, who was the director by that time, he emailed me and asked me if I want to play Clarissa. And of course I said yes. And I actually went to my first rehearsal without the ensembles. And I went to my first music rehearsal without the ensembles. And to be honest, it was weird. Because I'm used to go to rehearsals with the ensembles. So yeah, it was a little weird. Everyone was so nice, and I had a great time with them. There were sometimes I've mostly been hanging out with Ellie, who played Beth by the time, and sometimes Shannon, who played Marmee. So Little Women will obviously be 10 out of 10. Next, we have The Man Who Saved Christmas. So, The Man Who Saved Christmas, I had no idea what the heck was about. So, obviously, when I see a show that TIC is doing, I do my research, and, it was actually a pretty cute show that I've done. And actually, that show kind of reminded me of Miracle on 31st Street, because that was a pretty cute show. I played First Woman / ensemble. I literally had like one line for the entire show. And when I saw that, I was like,
oh, this is like Princess Bride all over again.
It was also my first time wearing my character shoes for the entire show. To be honest, my feet were killing me. Luckily, there was a seat backstage so I could sit down and rest my feet. It was actually based on a true story about A.C. Gilbert and his toy factory. So I probably would give The Man Who Saved Christmas, I'm gonna put 7 out of 10. Next, we have In the Red Light. Well, actually, that was part of a festival that Emerald Pig did. You zoom into the part yeah, In the Red Light by Maurice Level. It was my first show with Emerald Pig, and there's a little story about it. I was actually supposed to do that play around November of 2020, but you guys might probably know why. In the Red Light is about 2 couples named Nellie and Henry. Nellie died in the beginning, and Henry is like mourning of the loss of his wife. I played Nellie, and Nellie was actually my first ever principal role. And the guy who played Henry, it was originally Jareth, but then he dropped out. So Jason took over the role, and he did a really good job. Now I think it was my 3rd or 4th show with him. Fun fact, when I was rehearsing In the Red Light, I was also rehearsing Elf. So yeah, that was really stressful. But luckily, I got through it. We actually performed like 4 times because it was a short play, a short horror play, and we had to at some house. It was a really old house, which is now a museum, and we had to stay outside in the dark. It was so freaking cold. After we finished the play, we go inside to get warm, which was nice. So I probably would give In the Red Light 7 out of 10. The last but not least, whoa. What was that? Oh, Elf. I still remember the first time I heard they finally got the rights for Elf. I was like super excited, and I immediately told my mom that I need to audition that. Elf was one of my favorite Christmas movies when I was growing up, and I was like 6 years old when the movie was released. And I remember my stepdad took me and my older brother and sister to go see it. And I kind of have a little memory of that. So I played ensemble, so I was one of the elves, and security guard number 1, and one of the store worker, and passerby in the date scene, and I was also a camera woman. And I even got to reunite with Olivia and Bryn, because me, Olivia, and Bryn haven't done a show together since Christmas Carol, so that was pretty fun. And actually, true fact, Olivia is actually the one who convinced me that I should make a theater channel. So yeah, thumbs up for Olivia! I was actually the only soprano that had to sing the highest notes in Sparkle Jolly, A Christmas Song, and in A Christmas Song Reprise, and the finale. I had a really great time doing that show, and honestly, I really want to go back time and do that show again. Just how much I really love doing that show. But I mostly miss the people I've been hanging out a lot at rehearsals. And I miss our buddy, the elf. And his hugs. Yeah, me and him hugged a lot at the shows. Well, he started it. So obviously, elf, 10 out of 10. So thank you guys for watching me rating my past shows I've done for 7 years. And I'll see you next time.